Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make this lovely sprinkle cake. If you're from the UK, this sprinkle cake was dominating in school. It still is. So yeah, I enjoyed it so much, so I had to recreate it. The UK is going crazy for this sprinkle cake during this lockdown period. And I said, you know what, I need to make it. I used to buy it before from one shop, but I said, let me try and learn how to make it. And it took me a couple attempts, I will be honest, yeah, because I'm someone who loves cake and I know what a good cake tastes like. When I first started making it, it didn't taste right. It was too wet, then afterwards it was too dry, and then afterwards it was sinking in the middle. And then I finally got the right recipe and the right method that make this cake taste amazing. So I thought, let me share it with you lot. I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to put the recipe ingredients in the description box in case you don't catch it in the video. So I start off with 225 grams of butter. Your butter needs to be at room temperature. So when I take my butter out of the fridge and weigh it, I leave it out for a good 1 hour or 2 hours. It has to be really, really soft. Do not use a microwave, just let it get soft on its own. And then I add 225 grams of sugar. I've used caster sugar and granulated sugar in this recipe. I haven't really noticed a difference, but if you could get caster sugar, it's a lot better because it's more finer. And then just mix it until smooth. I probably mix this for about 2-3 minutes. Ensure the butter and sugar are fully incorporated. So after the mixing, you can see that the colour of the butter's changed. It's a lot more white. This is how you know it's fully mixed. And then I add in 4 eggs, 4 medium-sized eggs. I don't like these little bits in my egg, so I take it out. If you have any shells in there, make sure you take it out with a spoon as well. And then for a bit of flavour, I add the vanilla essence. I prefer to use the Madagascar vanilla, but any type of vanilla essence will be fine for this recipe. And then I add 4 tablespoons of milk. I've used semi-skimmed milk or whole milk. I think whole milk makes it a bit better, but if you've got semi-skimmed, go for it. And make sure you add the milk. There was once I forgot to add the milk to this recipe and it was an absolute disaster. Like, the milk makes such a big difference. And then mix this all together until smooth. So there we go, all nicely mixed. Now it's time to add the flour. I use self-raising flour. I get 275 grams of self-raising flour. I don't sieve it in, I just pour it straight in. And then the last thing I add is 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So I've learned this is where it could all go wrong. When I start mixing the flour, I ensure my whisk is on the lowest speed possible. And I just mix in the flour until it's all combined. If you've watched my other videos, you know flour contains gluten, and once that gluten is released, it's going to make your mixture very, very chewy if you overmix. So I just mix on low until the flour is just combined. As soon as the flour has all disappeared from the mixture, I just stop mixing. That's good enough. And your mixture is smooth, that's good enough. You stop there, yeah? So as you can see, all the flours combined, the mixture is very smooth. Do not overmix. Overmixing leads to a chewy cake and it leaves it to sink in the middle as well. I've learnt this the hard way through trial and error and doing my research. I'm not a baker or anything, so if you lot do have any tips to get my cake even better, let me know in the comment section. So I've greased a pan with some butter and sprinkled some flour on it to ensure it doesn't stick. You can use grease-proof paper, but as I was using this foil tray, which I'm going to throw away anyway, I thought let me just grease it. But I've used baking paper as well and it comes out just as nice. I just pour all of my mixture into the pan. Then I just spread it out evenly with a spatula. If you don't have a big pan, you can use 2 small pans. I've done this as well, especially if I'm giving them away to friends and family. I'll just use 2 smaller pans. And then just spread it all out. Ensure it's ready for the oven, nice and even. So the oven should be on gas mark 4. I usually turn the oven on just before I start baking. So by the time I've finished, I know that the oven is at the correct temperature. And once I've fully spreaded it out and it's smooth, I just give the cake tray about 3-4 bangs on the work surface. This ensures that any air bubbles that are trapped inside come to the top and are removed. So I put this in the oven for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, this is how the cake looks. It smells amazing. I wish you could all smell my kitchen right now. It is absolutely amazing. To ensure the cake is cooked, I get a toothpick, or you can use a skewer, put it into the center of the cake. And if there's no batter on it, it means the cake is cooked. Now I need this to cool down for probably about half an hour before I ice the cake. So I start off adding 4 cups approximately of icing sugar into a bowl. You just pour that all in. And then I go in with about 4 tablespoons of milk. Do not add too much milk because we do not want this icing to be very runny. If it is too runny, it's like you can see the cake through. We want a nice thick icing. I'm going to show you what happens if you do add too much milk. It's so easy to rectify it. So I just use a spatula to mix it. A little milk goes a very, very long way. So just keep on mixing until all the icing sugar is incorporated with the milk. So to me, the icing sugar is quite runny. If I lift up the spatula, you can see it's very gloopy. It's just very runny. You can see as I lift it up, it runs off the spatula very, very easy. So to rectify this, I just add in a bit more icing sugar, about another 2 cups of icing sugar into the mixture. So this is the consistency that I want my icing sugar. You can see how thick it is. When I lift it off the spoon, it's not running off so easy. It's very, very thick. This is the perfect consistency for sprinkle cake. So now that icing mixture is done, I just pour it all over the cake and spread it over evenly with my spatula. So my icing mixture is not 100% smooth over the cake, but that's all right because once we add the sprinkles, it disguises this. I add these confetti sprinkles, which I got from Tesco. Just sprinkle them on, and I am very generous with these sprinkles. Whatever sprinkles you want to add, you can just pull it on there. I also like to go in with some sugar strand sprinkles. Most places sell these, any supermarket, you can buy them just to fill in the gaps from the confetti sprinkles. So this is how it's looking now. I'm just waiting for it to fully set. It's not 100% set yet, so it's still a bit wet. I got my sugar strand sprinkles from Morrison's, but you can get them from any supermarket. Next up, let's wait for the inside of the cake. Like, I don't like when people make videos and they don't show the inside of the cake. Like, that is just so crucial. There we go, so moist, so fluffy. Like, this cake tastes amazing. If you're a cake lover like me, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So what is sprinkle cake without custard, you know? Like, it's nothing without custard. So of course I have to eat mine with custard. I just slop it all on there. Yummy. This so takes me back to school days. When I used to see this as a dessert at school, I used to get so excited. I used to love this sprinkle cake, and I'm so happy I could recreate it. It tastes just like it did at school. If you are going to try this recipe, let me know in the comments. So this sponge cake mixture is so versatile. I used it to make a 10-inch round cake. It was so yummy with some frosting on there as well. Yum, look at this cake. Isn't it beautiful? Go and follow my Instagram for more. I have a lot of tips that I have on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram already, go and follow. I'm going to put the link in the description box at But First Let's Eat. Enjoy.